This is a board that has evolved over the last, 10 or 15 years. Dave Phillips of LA Sound Design built this board for me, and I don't know how he still allows me to walk into his shop because I'm changing this thing all the time. We've rebuilt it probably 2 or 3 times, and he keeps trying to get me to put less pedals on it, and I keep putting more.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
And I've gotten very good at fixing it when it breaks.
I just saw you screwing some stuff together
exactly
right before this rundown.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
okay, well let's hear the signal flow.
Okay, signal flow. We're going into this Una 29. You know about these?
No.
Made by Jesse Honig, who is a brilliant pedal builder, engineer. He used to do the sound at Largo. He used to work with John Bryan a lot. And he started making these pedals, and he's brilliant. And these are just basically, it's a very simple buffer. And there's 3 buttons. This is off. And it sounds like, when you flip all of them up, it just sounds like you're taking the blanket off your amp.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's kind of like, kind of EQ, like one's harmonics, one's a bright switch, and one is kind of a low switch. I tend to leave the bright switch off, but it's nice to have the extra thing if the guitar needs it.
Sure.
So we're going in there. This also has a loop for the fuzz pedal. So normally I'll leave my fuzz pedal on, and
oh wow,
that basically, this is my on and off switch for the fuzz pedal, because when you bypass the buffer, it leaves the fuzz turns on, and then you turn back on the buffer, which turns off the fuzz.
And that way your fuzz is the first thing in the chain,
exactly.
Although it's way over there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, cool. All right.
So this will be a good test for me to see if I can remember my own signal flow.
Yeah.
I believe we go into this Super Ego, which is a thing I use with when I'm playing with David. It's just kind of like, it's a little make bigger thing for
sure.
choruses.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, a little swirly.
Yep, a little squirrely synth underpinning for your sound.
Neat.
The Geiger counter has some cool fuzz sounds, and this is a very cool Ranger FX. Makes this a Reverb X pedal, which is like a gated. This turns on the gate, and so it's a little gated reverb situation.
Yeah.
With a bit of distortion and built in, so that's a cool one.
Yeah.
Effecty reverb. You got your Taiwanese Ross compressor.
Very cool.
They just reissued these, and they're incredible. All the Ross pedals, JHS did.
Oh, really? Yeah, I knew somebody was putting them out again.
Yeah. And they're amazing. So, but I just happen to have this one before they reissued.
Well, that's got some high miles on it, looks like.
Yes. And then this guy is, this Klon was temporarily lent to me by Trevor Boone. Do you know Trevor?
Oh, yeah, of course, Emerald City.
Emerald City Guitars. And Trevor, one of my favorite people, he's a great guitar player. And I mean, he's great at selling guitars too, but people don't really get to hear him play. So when we passed through Seattle, I invited him to come sit in, and he brought, I think, a 52 left-handed Telly and this Klon, and sounded amazing. And I went to give him his stuff back, and he said, "Hang on to the Klon, you use it for a while." And he said, "I'll grab it from you next time I'm in LA." And so now I just try to dodge Trevor every time he comes to LA.
Yeah, like, sorry, man,
I'm out of town.
Yeah.
But no, he's been very kind to lend this to me. And it's
great.
They're, I don't know if they're worth the exorbitant price tag, but
that one was.
They're very fun. And this you can't beat free.
Yeah,
so.
Right.
And then let's see, should I just keep going down the line
here?
Yeah,
man, let's hear them.
Okay, this guy is this is
the big question mark.
A Super Bolt.
Okay.
And years ago, they sent, I believe this is how it happened. They sent Mason a Super Bolt, and they had biased it incorrectly. Something about it was broken on the, but it sounded cool. And so Mason at the time was doing these events called Guitaco, which I do have to take credit for the name. I did name that event where we'd play guitars and eat tacos. And so they made him a taco bolt that was biased incorrectly with a picture of a taco. And for years, when I met Josh, I was trying to get him to send me a taco bolt. I was like, please just send me a taco bolt. And finally, he acquiesced and he made me, I don't know what to call this, but it's not a taco bolt because that's only one of one, but it has a question mark and the guts are the same as the taco bolt, and they wrote my name on it. So it made me feel very special. And it's, I love the Super Bolt as well, but this thing sounds like a broken Super Bolt.
Right.
So
yeah, sounds like the amp is just on its way out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is the best kind of amp.
Yeah.
And then here we have this Jam Pedals vibrato that I actually first saw Schofield using this.
Oh, really?
And it does a kind of more traditional, like VB2 thing. It also does a chorus, but I don't really use the chorus as much. And then it has this wacky vibrato. No, this is not the wacky one. This is the wacky one. Which, you know.
Yeah, the vertigo inspiring.
Exactly.
Yeah. Boy, particularly in that stereo rig like that, you really get swirly.
Totally. And speaking of the stereo rig, maybe we jump over to the other vibrato.
Sure, let's do it.
Which is a surfy vibe, which Mason also turned me onto this pedal, and it's this great little company, and they only make like 3 or 4 things, but they're all so good. And this is a sort of magnetone vibrato that, similar to in the Magnetone stereo amps,
right,
they'll go back and forth between the speakers. So this I have wired so that it comes out of this output and not out of this output. So one of the amps gets vibratoed, and the other does not. So it creates the stereo effect.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So this is a great one. Great pedal.
Okay, love it.
All right, this is a freshly mounted slow Loris. It's this kind of, it's a delay, and I believe it does like a tape kind of lo-fi warble thing that depends on how hard you play.
Love that.
So that's cool. This H9 does a whole bunch of shit. I don't know if you've messed with these H9 pedals, but
I've never played one. Yeah, they're a little complex for me. A lot going on there.
I have a friend named Will Grafe, who's an amazing guitar player, and he's just masterful with this thing. He uses it with an expression pedal and does all this wild shit with it. I'm not quite at that level, but I've made a bunch of sounds, and this is the one that actually gets used the most.
The video game setting.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a trombone. Yeah. It's unmistakable trombone.
Yeah.
And here's the top of this one. Look at that. We found
it. There you go. Okay.
Okay. So glad we did this. So H9. Yeah, this is kind of like I do a Matheny thing with it, and it's fun. Flint Strymon. Hard to beat this pedal that does so much with so little space. The trim and the reverb. It's just like I kind of just want this on every board now.
Sure.
This super delay, I've had on here forever, and I just found some weird sounds that work their way into songs. And so now, they don't even make this this one anymore, so I have to buy old ones and take them on the road as backups.
Yeah.
But it does some weird shit that.
Wow.
You know, so it's kind of the controlled feedback thing, which made its way into some songs. Then I don't even know what else. Let's see, traditional. I think there's some wacky. This guy. So yeah, I don't even know how. You know, I've had to use a backup a time or two, and I don't remember how I made the presets. So
sure.
I'm really stuck with this one.
Yeah.
But this is that's a cool effecty delay.
Yeah, I love it. Great weirdo sounds in that.
Exactly. Your Sonic Research tuner.
Gotta have it.
Very accurate tuner here. We have our Fairfield Circuitry Shallow Water. We have this this Attack guy, which is it's like a slow gear kind of copy situation, but without the price tag. So that's fun. And we talked about the surfy vibe, and we got our volume.
There we go.
How'd I do?
Fabulous. You ever just stomp on all these at the end of the night, just like everything's on?
Not as often as I should, now that you mention it.
The big finish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are all the talent buttons.
There we go.
Exactly.